Our tale kicks off with Shizuru pondering life's big questions, like why we bother with studies. But Yoka, bless her heart, is just as clueless. She figures it's to grasp stuff they don't already know. Shizuru admits she sometimes doesn't understand Yoka either. Then, cue the girls gathering, making a wish. One asks Shizuru what she wished for. She slyly calls it a secret. Yoka, following suit, claims secrecy too, and bam! Cut to the 31st annual Agano archery competition. Nadiko's in the heat of it, and the gals are cheering her on. Shizuru, Ryumi, and Akira are giving it their all, urging Nadiko to crush her opponent. And wouldn't you know it? Even Yoka jumps on the Nadiko cheer squad bandwagon. Flashback to Ryumi waking up in a cold sweat, freaking out about some soldier dudes they saw, thinking they're out to get them. Shizuru reassures her they're still alive. But Ryumi's fuming because she's stuck and can't move. She's like, "Can you move, Shizuru?" Nope, she's frozen too. Turns out those soldier dudes hit them with what looked like missiles. Ryumi corrects her. They were missiles. And they also showered them with those ticklish bullets. Ryumi figures the bullets hurt less cause they were tiny. Shizuru's skeptical. But Ryumi's dead set on ditching the situation. She's steaming mad. Then, out of nowhere, a convoy of trucks and cars rolls up. Armed dudes pointing guns at the girls. One guy with a megaphone demands to know who they are. Ryumi's like, "Cut us loose first," but he ain't having it. He threatens to leave them tied up till kingdom come. Shizuru caves and blurts out they're from Agano. Dude's confused, wondering if folks from Agano changed too. Shizuru's lost, so he clarifies, asking if Agano folks are still the same. She insists nothing's happened yet, but they're about to turn into animals. He's like, "Why are you here then?" Shizuru's all vague about taking a stroll, but Ryumi spills they're hunting for a doc. Shizuru's like, "Why'd you say that?" Ryumi's clueless about keeping mum, so Shizuru's like, "I'll explain later." Ryumi's like, "Could have said something." Shizuru retorts it's cause the guy rubbed her the wrong way. Ryumi agrees he's a pain. Then the guy orders them to spin around, and a soldier gets the heli blades whirring. Shizuru's freaking out, Ryumi's screaming, and they're both begging them to stop. Ryumi's face is hurting, but the guy's just annoyed and shuts them up, reminding them he's the question master here. Then he drops the bomb. Subscribe to our channel to avoid getting tied to a helicopter prop and interrogated by a commander. Ryumi thinks he flipped out for no reason, but he's like, "Nah, just doing my job. I'm the captain." After all, a radio call interrupts him, making him impatient. He reverts to professionalism, mentioning there might be docs in Agano. Ryumi spills they're looking for a certain doctor, surprising everyone. The guy wonders how she knows the doc. She spills about some mushrooms her friend pulled. Now they're both on death's doorstep. He's like, 7G, huh? She hesitates. Shizuru agrees. He's like, "Yup, just as the boss said." Shizuru's baffled by their concern. The captain orders an immediate report. Ryumi's like, "We told you everything. Now cut us loose." But the captain's adamant about keeping their town's secrets safe. Ryumi's puzzled, but the captain drops the bomb. Their skeletons will be next to Ikebono, the elephant's fossil in Sayama City Museum. Shizuru's lost. Ryumi translates it's a death sentence, and off go the trucks, leaving the girls screaming for freedom. Meanwhile, Nadiko's tinkering with the train, and Akira's calling her over, while Pachai's cluelessly wagging along. Nadiko strolls up to Akira, asking what's up. Akira wonders where Shizuru and Ryumi went because boredom's eating her alive. Nadiko assures her they'll be back soon and delegates Pachai's sitting duties to Akira while she finishes her inspection. Akira, in her element, starts fawning over Pachai, calling him fluffy and adorable, squishing his face. Pachai's a saintly pup. Any easily annoyed dog would have bitten her hand off ages ago. Meanwhile, Ryumi and Shizuru are playing a futile game of escape artist. Ryumi getting ticked off because her hand hurts. Shizuru's like, "Chill, we know the doc's in town. We just need to find her." But Ryumi's all about the escape plan. She's built up expectations for nothing. She wonders if there's anything they can do until a girl walks by. Ryumi seizes the moment, pleading with her to untie them. Shizuru reassures the girl they mean no harm. They just need the doc's help for their friend. The girl drops a bomb. If she helps, the boss will showcase her skeleton. She explains she's tasked with cleaning the area and was checking for trash. Shizuru's fretting about her bladder, figuring the park might turn into her personal bathroom. She gives the girl an ultimatum: release them or become a skeleton because nature calls, leaving the choice in her hands, and she does, much to Ryumi's gratitude, who hugs her like a life-size doll. With no one around, the girl reveals there's a curfew they must follow. She spills the beans about the doc being detained, and the girls demand an explanation. Turns out, the 7G incident caused a size increase, then a shrinkage, leaving chaos in its wake. Enter Dr. Gappa Makoto Angstrom, elected leader, who maintained order until the boss showed up and took over. Locking her away, the city split into the obedient upper class and the oppressed lower class, tasked with maintaining the boss's toys and infrastructure. The lower class slaves away to power the boss's fun. The girls are horrified, but the girl hopes Dr. Gappa's return could turn the tide. Enlisting the girls' help, they navigate the massive obstacles, managing to snag a few soldiers. The girl queries a former upper-class dude about Makoto's whereabouts, and the girls promise not to rat them out. Meanwhile, it's 5 p.m., and Nadeko fills Zenjiro in on their quest for a dock in Inariyama. He's clueless. Nadeko checks on Akira, who's grumbling about Ryumi's tardiness. Back in action, Ryumi and Shizuku infiltrate the army base in search of the dock. They find Makoto, and after the girl spills the beans, soldiers spot them. The big guy demands answers. It all clicks for the girls. Obedience stems from size. He threatens decapitation unless they toe the line. But Ryumi flips the script, pointing out he's the one out of line, his dominance only fueled by his size. After a heated exchange, he orders the soldiers to open fire. Ryumi shrugs it off, kicking a truck. While Shizuru takes down the boss, he commands them to shoot the dock. But the girls rally to her defense. Ryumi, with the girl in tow, makes a break for it, reaching the train where she informs Akira of the dock's arrival. But Makoto drops a bombshell. She's not a dock, she's a scientist. Ryumi's despairing over the lack of a dock. But Nadeko fills Akira in, and Makoto steps up to help. And so, we discover that the boss was scared stiff of her, knowing her expertise could potentially restore the city to normal. She dubbed the whole ordeal the 7G brainwave phenomenon. Under the 7G's influence, perceptions and everyone's reality could go haywire, even affecting their own bodies. In other words, Akira's changes stem from her belief that some vital part of her was plucked out by those mushrooms. All she needed was a good old mushroom buffet to convince her she's back to square one. They were mushroom-less, but Makoto spotted some sprouting in the boss's room. She remarks that if Zenjiro were alive, maybe he'd conjure up a better plan. Nadeko quips that the girls know him. He's alive, but his brain's on vacation. Makoto recalls the time they underwent a makeshift surgery until Zenjiro broke free and set her loose, urging her to scram pronto. She owes her life to Zenjiro, but Akira's the top priority now. Next thing you know, Shizuru wakes up in the boss's room. She can't wrap her head around why he'd be so mean to the folks. She confesses she's always been into military bases, jet fighters, choppers, all kinds of vehicles. It's been her secret passion, but she couldn't share it with anyone. He spills about getting laughed at when he expressed his dream of joining a base, folks saying he lacked the smarts and physique for it. Then came the 7G incident, and he wound up in this city. Shizuru asks if he knew Ikebukuro. He warns it's a dangerous place. Just as he's sweet-talking her to stick around, in comes Ryumi, kicking the door down, demanding Shizuru and the mushrooms, and thus, the brawl begins. A jet tries to mow down Ryumi, but she dodges. Jumping out of harm's way, it shoots, and she gets caught in the blast. Furious, she rises, chasing after the boss. Scaling a building, she goes on the defensive. After duking it out with part of the army, she attempts to attack the boss, but Shizuru holds her back, scolding her for going all out. They head back to the train, feeding mushrooms to Akira, who's not having any of it. Ryumi's ticked. This isn't the Akira she knows. The Akira she knows is cranky, stubborn, and reads complicated books. So, she makes Akira eat books. Lo and behold, after munching on some literature, Akira's back to her old self. A helicopter whisks the boss away to a deserted island in Lake Sayama, now gigantic thanks to the 7G. Escaping won't be a walk in the park for him there. Makoto pledges to find Zenjiro. Perhaps they could figure out how to clean up this mess, and so they bid farewell, and the girls continue their journey.